All right, let's dive into an absolutely mind-bending explainer today. We are unpacking author Su Feng's radical philosophy on determinism, the invisible societal matrix we're all supposedly trapped in, and the ultimate quest to find your true self. I'm telling you, this is a framework that's going to completely challenge how you view your daily routines, your choices, and honestly, even your own identity.
So let's start here. We all love to think we're in the driver's seat, right? We wake up, we make our choices, we steer our own destinies. But the source material hits us right out of the gate with a profound question. How much of your life do you actually control? Su Feng suggests that if you can control even 10% of your habits, hobbies, and words, well, you're already doing way better than most people. So what exactly is running the other 90%?
Get this. The author points out there are exactly 18 fundamental aspects of your existence that are completely out of your hands. Think about it for a second. You didn't choose your birthday, you didn't choose your parents, and you definitely didn't pick your physical appearance, your race, or the era you were born into. And ultimately, your inevitable death, also completely out of your control. These foundational building blocks of who you are were predestined before you could even form a single conscious thought.
To show just how deeply pre-programmed we might actually be, consider this super eerie, real-world story of identical twin brothers. Separated at birth in Ohio, they grew up completely apart. Yet, when they reunited 39 years later, they discovered they had essentially lived perfectly parallel lives. I mean, both became carpenters, both pursued legal education, both married women named Linda, named their sons James Allen, and, you literally can't make this up, they even vacationed in the exact same town in Florida. It is absolutely mind-blowing.
Stories exactly like that lead us to a highly provocative conclusion. What if most of us are essentially just biological robots? According to this philosophy, instead of operating on true free will, our behaviors, our habits, our hobbies, they're all driven by an invisible program. We're just executing predetermined procedures while walking around totally convinced we made all these choices ourselves.
If our choices aren't truly our own, then what the heck are we doing all day? Well, the author argues we're just playing roles in a grand societal plot. We're programmed to hit all the expected marks, go to work on time, buy the house, get married, uphold the traditions. Whether you identify as a teacher, an engineer, or a police officer, you're essentially just playing a character in a massive societal script. And we do it because it forces us to survive by conforming to everyone else's expectations.
But here's the catch. Living out this script creates some intense friction between our false exterior and our hidden true self. Take the hypothetical example of a widow whose husband falls in battle. In public, she wails and cries because, well, that's what society expects of her grief. But inwardly, her true self might secretly be crying tears of joy, thinking, finally, I'm free. The outward display is completely disconnected from what she's actually feeling inside.
Think of ordinary humans, literally like movie actors. Just like an actor doesn't actually die when they're filming a war scene, we are faking it every single day in the real world. We fake love and relationships that have gone totally cold, we pretend to respect bosses we actually can't stand, and we act like moral guardians just to survive the social plot. In this view, human society is just one massive, endless film set.
So you're probably wondering, why don't we realize we're all just acting in a giant play? Because the script requires 99% of humanity to be kept completely in the dark. It is quite literally a survival mechanism. If everyone suddenly woke up to this false reality tomorrow, the entire structural order of human society would instantly disintegrate. The illusion is the only thing keeping the gears turning.
And honestly, waking up from that illusion, it can be utterly devastating. Consider the tragedy of a migrant worker who enjoyed 23 years of blissful family life, only to have it completely destroyed in a single day by a DNA test. It revealed the child he lovingly raised wasn't his. Knowing the ultimate truth turned his peaceful, albeit illusory, life into a dark tragedy in an absolute instant.
We see this echoed in ancient myths, too. Take the story of King Oedipus. Ignorance gave Oedipus a warm, comfortable family life, but learning the ultimate truth, that he had unknowingly married his own mother, shattered his reality entirely, leading to his queen's suicide and his own self-mutilation. Sometimes, the Matrix's illusion is the only thing protecting our comfort. Now, this explainer pushes the discomfort even further by asking us to question our deepest biological bonds. Who is your mother, really? Through endless cycles of reincarnation across the universe, these roles become completely relative.
the person who is your daughter today could very well have been your mother 500 years ago. Biological labels are just temporary casting assignments for this specific lifetime.
To really break this concept down, the author points to a striking quote from Jesus Christ. When told his biological mother and brothers were looking for him, Jesus responded that whoever does the will of God is his family. In this framework, this is viewed as the ultimate example of someone flat out refusing to act out the societal script. He chose instead to live authentically by valuing spiritual truth over standard biological expectations.
Okay, so how do we actually find that true self? We have to look at the universe as a grand stage with a clear hierarchy of freedom. At the very bottom, you have animals like pigs, which are heavily constrained by humans. In the middle, you've got us, humans, possessing medium freedom, constrained by society and its scripts. But way up at the top are celestials, who possess high freedom. The higher your degree of freedom, the closer you get to your true self.
Achieving that higher freedom means actively breaking out of our human programming, and the text outlines a clear pathway for this. First, recognizing the restrictive bonds of traditional marriage and family. Second, escaping the psychological traps the author calls the 36 mazes of life. And finally, moving into intentional, unscripted spaces, which the text refers to as the new oasis for life, where people can drop the societal act and live much more authentically. And this whole escape plan builds on a massive cosmic level too. According to the text, finding absolute liberty requires a spiritual ascension through entirely different dimensional realities. You actually have to spiritually evolve past the rigid constraints of the plant and animal worlds, transcend our mortal world entirely, and finally arrive at the ultimate domain, the celestial world.
So where are we actually heading? The ultimate destination in this entire philosophical framework is a realm called the Celestial Islands continent of the Elysium world. It's described as the highest possible level of heaven, and crucially, it's the absolute only place in the entire universe where true selves can actually exist without any masks, expectations, or pre-written scripts. Why is this the absolute peak? Because here, you achieve total freedom. You escape the biological robot program entirely. You are no longer playing a role handed to you by society. Instead, you become the absolute sole designer, the arranger, the director, and the screenwriter of your own existence. There is literally no script but the one you write yourself.
To reach this magnificent state, the author provides explicit instructions. First, you gotta follow the Tao, that natural, unforced order of the universe. Second, you must align your personal consciousness with the greatest creator, basically the ultimate universal source. And third, you have to achieve complete self-consistency, where your inner truth finally matches your outward actions in perfect harmony. No more faking it.
As we wrap up this profound exploration of determinism, societal matrices, and spiritual ascension, it really leaves us with one final powerful reflection. Are you living as your true self, or are you just reading the script you were handed? It is absolutely the ultimate question you have to ask yourself when you look in the mirror tomorrow morning. Keep questioning, keep seeking, and as always, thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.